Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Questers of Yalpelor.
Yabba 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 yabba.
Welcome to Questers of Yalpelor.
What took you so long, Itama?
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I did it twice. What do you mean so long?
I didn't hear you the
I
first
didn't hear you
time.
either. That's why I stopped and went yabba yabba.
Well,
I thought it was.
wait, Trent, did you keep going? Trent, did you keep going because you didn't hear me as well?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought it was just like a macho play to like try to see how long it could hold out. But no.
Yeah, right?
No, you told us to hold out, and we.
That's
Yeah.
true, and you did it
Hell
like
out.
troopers. That's
Guys,
amazing.
this is what happens when we rehearse. Let's never do it again.
Never ever. Welcome everyone to this completely spoken, not even one bit of musical episode of Questers of Yalpelor. Questers of Yalpelor, for those of you here for the first time, is a weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. My name is Itamar. I am your host and game master, and I've gathered four hilarious improvisers and actors from all over the world to travel through the lands of Yalpelor with me. With us tonight we have Matt playing Grubble Bumblin Esquire, a quarterling bubblemancer desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. We have Jada playing Triss, a nebulous summoning who's only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life in Yalpelor with their new friends. We have Talia playing Aklis Darkmoor, a traveling death knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. And we have Trent playing Dirt Hotbelly. His father is an angel, his mother is a volcano, and he's 100% half rock buddy. These players are here not just to play their characters. I've asked them to invent and flesh out details in the game world, play other characters, segue into unexpected scenes, and all in all make my job as a game master more interesting and chaotic than it would otherwise be. And you, the viewers, can also influence the game. You can use your XP to activate commands, which will take the game in different directions. For instructions, scroll down below the video. The game system we're using is Macchiato Monsters. It's an old school game in the style of Dungeons and Dragons. We're using assets and creations by all sorts of awesome fans and artists from all over the web. If you're interested in any of the images and sounds you're seeing on stream, you can scroll down below the video and see the full list of awesome creative people and check them out for yourself. And now it is time for a word from our sponsor.
Hello, everyone. Today's sponsor is goodbyes. Yes, it's true. Some goodbyes are shitty, and some goodbyes are less shitty. But every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. I just made that up. And the show must goodbye on.
Must cry on. The show must
Yes.
cry on.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Trent. That was poignant. I really enjoyed it.
What's poignant? I kept waiting for the punchline. There wasn't one.
Yeah, I was like,
That's how you can tell it's
pointing.
poignant.
Just
You
that.
can tell it's poignant because there's no punchline at the end.
Yeah.
So most people in my life are just poignant all the time.
I was gonna say, is that Trent's newest excuse for no punchlines? Is just poignancy?
I mean, do I have poignant friends and funny friends?
You have pungent friends.
If someone says that
I'm
I'm poignant, should I be
unpungent.
offended?
You know what,
Pungent
Matt? It's
to
always the ones who are the least pungent that have to say out loud, I'm not pungent.
No, I said I am a pungent.
Ah,
But he's a
pungential or
pun
pungent?
gentleman. Pun gentleman.
Exactly.
A pun gentleman. Gentleman pun.
Oh my god. There's so many layers. So many layers.
Fantastic, really.
Alright.
And punctilious.
It's like a parfait.
A pun fay.
Alright. So, we will begin the game in a second. Let's remind ourselves what happened at the end of the previous episode. We met and you met and dispatched the four enemies who were in your form, or at least a version of your form. Some of them were a little bit more physically similar to you than others, but they were all some kind of versions of you who claimed to be from the future when chaos took over the entire world. you killed them quite handily, actually. And in a fight that you just rolled so many crits, it turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it would be.
But still, the show took 2.5 hours.
Still we went over time.
That's what happens when you're in a doppelgang.
The chaosometer was almost reached the maximum, which is 13. So now it's on 12. Because it's on 12, you had the opportunity
And
to
you
notice.
were like, would you like to let the chaos in?
Exactly.
And we were
You
like,
had a visit from Dave, the Chaos Knight, that you resisted. You decided not to let him in because Chaos was not at 13. He couldn't just barge in on you just because he wanted to. So basically, you kept him away. And then you, or while that was happening, or before that was happening, actually, you talked to the poet, the person that you actually came to save in the first place, and to see what that was all about. How come the poet is in the hands of 4 semi-pseudo doppelgangers of yours? And you talked to him, and you heard something about his poetry in relation to order and chaos. That's basically what happened. We ended the last episode with Dirt explaining the game of Rock, Pebble, Boulder to Grebel, I think. I don't know to which of you it was. So let's now jump about 15 minutes forward in time from when the conversation started to kind of the end of the explanation. Dirt, if you want to go ahead and let us know what the end of this conversation sounds like.
So anyway, that's the way that you play the game. Would you like to play?
I'd love to.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Rock, pebble, boulder.
I went with rock.
Me too. Again.
Rock,
Rock, pebble,
pebble,
boulder.
boulder.
Oh! They both
I
went
went-
with Boulder.
No, I went with pebble.
I went with boulder. Boulder always wins to the things, no matter what you throw. So, I guess now it's time to kill you. How would you like to die?
Oh wait, I didn't remember that bit of the rules.
True. I forgot to say, but yes. So,
I'd like to not die
okay.
and not play this game again. Thank you.
All right.
I'll
Would you like
play.
to know Would you like to know a hint?
Is it go with boulder?
Yes. I would like to see Trist play against Aklis.
Can we
Uncle,
play
you wanna
version?
play?
Can we play the version where they don't have to kill each other?
Is Aklis on
would
board
like
with
to
that?
avoid that part of the game if possible.
Okay.
Okay. Rock, paper, 2 boulders.
That's two.
No,
Let us
it's
pay
play
them.
Boulder.
That's 2 rocks, though, isn't it?
No, it's 2 boulders. Oh, is it?
Well, that's 2 rocks,
Oh.
Trist.
Two
No,
rocks.
perhaps
So-
I'm confused with the hand motions.
Wait, there's 2 rocks
Also-
make a boulder?
No, but also there is no paper. That would be a silly and a stupid thing to have inside of the game. What the fuck can paper do? Nothing to anything. Unless in the
that's why we
hands
have the
of...
poet writing, because paper isn't writing.
Exactly. I was going to get there, but then, you kind of took the wind out of my sails, so to speak. But I was going to say, unless it is in the hands of a poet.
You know, you can actually write on a sail.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, like you could write on the sail. So then sail is also paper. But I think the sail would be boulder. I bet that's true.
So if there were a version of the game that were paper, bigger paper, sail. Should we go check on the poet, do you think?
Yes, perhaps he's done with his poetry.
So Grubble, do you walk back in?
I do.
Okay, so in the farmhouse, the poet is just finishing up his work. He was writing on
And
the.
with his final breath. No, he's not.
No, he's still okay. I mean, he's a little.
We
you
came
know,
all this way to save him. I was just expecting that if we leave him alone for 15 minutes.
We've left him alone for 15 minutes, writing a poem that supposedly can animate things, but it's all good, man. It's all super smart.
So he's just considering his creation, going over it one more time. You can hear you can see his lips move, but you can't hear him talk when he reads it out in his mind. And when you come in,
So I read too.
so he looks up at you and he says, "Oh, well, good, very good. Uh, I thought about it some more, and I'm a little bit more convinced now that you are what you say you are. I heard your conversation from here while I was writing, and you don't seem to be anything like those creatures who captured me.
Oh no, we're not. We're friends.
They wouldn't
We look
play
very
a...
handsome.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, yes, definitely. You are
The
very...
possible exception of me, because actually that goatee looked quite nice.
Don't do it, Grandpa.
No, don't do it, Rebel.
Rebel, I don't know much about quarterling infrastructure, but I feel like that's probably not a good facial choice.
Because you don't know much about your bridges and roads. So,
Given that technically it's like a bridge and a road around your face.
Oh,
I think Tris is on it. Tris
metaphor.
knows exactly what word Tris used.
Nicely done. Nice save. I think
I
my guess
wonder
is...
what-
My guess is Tris learned that word from the librarian and now uses it inappropriately in sentences.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Tris learned that word inappropriately from from Gretel and just never really understood what it meant and started using it in a lot of different places.
Also possible.
Librarian or
with
Rebel?
one red bit at
Also,
the middle.
Ooh, you mean like a fork in the road?
What do we do now?
So he hands you a sheet of paper with the poem written on it. I'll remind you it's written in coal, so it's a little bit delicate. He asks you to watch over it well. It's a poem that he's been it was brewing in his head for a while, and in fact, while they were asking him to write one of his special poems, and he was just writing duds on purpose to just spend it, like stretch the time and try to waste time until somebody came to maybe help him. That's the poem he was thinking of. That's the real thing that was on his mind.
Why have you given it to me? That seems important. I'm worried now.
You seem to have... he looks at Triss, who at this point in time doesn't seem to have visible hands. He looks at Aklis with gauntlets. He looks at Dirt with two stony, rocky big, rocky hands. And he looks back at you and says, you seem the most appropriate.
Because I'm going to take her paper, is what you're saying. Right, okay, I feel like I should not read it, but also that maybe I should. This is where I'm at right now.
Alright.
Do you have any input, Mr. Poet Man?
I
Can this
mean...
be read or not read?
You can read it. It won't manifest until you, unless you read it out loud.
Oh crap. So I read it to myself and I do not say any of the words.
You don't? Alright. So do you have the poem? Did you find it in the...
You have the ability to read without,
Have you
nodding
sent
along.
it to me?
No, it's in the journal. Because you seem to be very concentrated on something, so I thought maybe you already had the poem. But it's in the journal, so you can just open it and read it yourself.
Can Tris come and read it on Grebel's shoulder?
Of course. Anyone who has the will to read it can have access to it. You can go to the journal and read it.
I refuse.
Alright.
I like to be surprised.
I love how I went to the journal and instead I ended up in the jungle.
Cat.
So the news is I don't understand it and I'll have to read it again later.
I don't even know where the journal is, so I'm struggling.
The journal is...
Okay. And I go, okay.
The
thank
chat
you.
window, you go to up above the chat window and roll 20, you have some icons, and one of them is the journal.
So I want to put this in my inventory under, dangerous prediction poem.
The name of
Dangerous
the poem.
manifestation poem.
I mean, make it something that you'll remember, but yeah, you can write whatever you want. I suggest the name of the poem.
Okay. And I'm gonna put it inside the thing that is like the cylinder where I can store a lot of things.
Your butt.
That is a cylinder that can store a lot of things. It's not really a cylinder.
All right,
But
we're done. The whatever of holding. What of holding was that?
at the moment it's just called Infinite Box, but it's
Oh.
not really. It's more like a Pringles.
He really just wants to keep putting everything in his infinite box, and Mar, just let him be.
The scroll definitely fits. Yeah.
Great.
But
I treat it nicely, you know, and I wrap it up and I like take care of the paper.
Okay. You want to know what you can do with it?
Oh, I'd love some advice.
Well, I do think it's my most potent creation to
God.
this day. When
My
I
mother said the same thing about me.
I read it, and it didn't seem that.
when
I'm potent.
some of my poems were read out loud, sometimes it had some effects. And what Chesterling told me once when he heard about it was that these poems can summon order and drive away chaos.
Right, because it's a structured verse.
Yes.
Mr. Poet, do you want to work for Chesterling?
Oh, having work, I've never worked for someone in the past. I always just wrote to whoever wanted to hear my poems. Maybe having.
Then do you want to write for just you? Because I don't know if Chesterling will let you.
Oh, Chesterling was very friendly to me in the past.
Will you write a song about me?
About you?
Yes.
Yes, of course. I will.
Can you call
About-
it?
about all this?
Can you call it Dirt Roads?
Yes, I think. Well, I'll consider it. It's a very good name. It depends on what kind of poem I end up with.
Right.
That's fair.
I'll start.
The ode to dirt.
I'll start working on it right now.
Well,
If
I don't know. Is there any other chance of you being kidnapped or stolen away from places? Or are you okay?
well, I do feel a little bit unsafe. Maybe I should go to the city. You said that we're quite close.
Yeah, we're not far from Emag.
We can take you.
We'll take you to Emag, yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Do you have a horse?
No?
Do you have
And
a
then
cheetah?
we have to pick up Miracle.
We not come out here with Martin?
I'm sure.
We didn't pick her up.
No, you didn't pick her up.
Okay, well, we
Because
don't
she's
have
in
a
the
horse.
palace, and we have to take her.
Yeah. Okay,
It's true.
that's, right, well, come with us.
Mr. Poet, what do you like to write poems about? Do you have poems about horses named Marigold, or death knights, or, and it just goes on.
All right.
Just as we're walking, I want to say to the others, do you think we should put our disguises back on? Because even though
Oh,
we're
perhaps,
getting
yes.
rid of the doppelgangers,
But my hat is not here. I'll
Right.
wear another hat.
Dirt stops for a second, and he thinks, because he didn't have a disguise to begin with, because he didn't know. And you see him, he just does this. And all of a sudden, he just sprouts. Effectively sprouts all over. So he's like a walking bush now.
Perfect. All
Aw,
right.
they can call it Dirt's Medical Bush.
All right. And Aklis has a bandana. Perfect.
Dirty bush.
And I'm a mushroom cat.
I
Nice.
could do another mustache.
I like that. I like all of that. Okay.
and we explain to the poet that we're doing this because we don't want to be mistaken for those other people.
Okay, Tanya, this is getting ridiculous. How are you so good at that?
You know, it takes them
What?
a split second, and yet it's some of the best moustache work I've ever seen.
It just comes naturally to me.
You walk back. You don't need to walk a lot, and it's still. I mean, it's gonna be well before sundown when you get there. But after about an hour,
I run.
you see someone approaching you, and this part of the road was kind of abandoned while it was taken over by chaos. So this is the first person you see coming your way. It's a guard with the uniform, the EMAG, the palace guard uniform, riding a horse, and behind him there's a few more guards who are trotting on the road. He's riding a little bit more quickly towards you and waves with his hand. Behind the guard, there's something else coming up, which is like a little wagon covered with like a dude driving it, two horses carrying this, pulling this wagon. But this is still
I'd like to stop for a second. I don't think I've ever seen a dude before. Have you guys seen a dude before? I've heard of them in legend.
I've seen a man, and I've seen a guy, and I even saw a bro. But a dude?
And a bloke? I've seen plenty of blokes.
Oh yes, blokes
Okay, so
are,
dude.
very easy to find.
So Itama, what does a dude look like?
So this dude has the signature oversized hands, like really big palms, really big hands and feet, which makes the proportions of
Wait,
the
I'm
body.
sorry, the feet are here? You pointed at feet. The feet are here?
No, the feet are in the normal
Those
place
are
they are.
crow's feet. He's just a bit of an older dude.
That's true. He is an older dude, and completely hairless, of course, as all dudes are. He has the blue veins all over the body, like very prominent.
The quite large, kind of bulbous purple nose.
Yeah, exactly, like all dudes. And because of his big hands, so often they are taken to be like workers, and this one is.
I
What's
heard
the
Is he
what's
is
the
he
name?
wearing cargo shorts?
The job of the person who drives the wagon. The name of the job, the role of the person who does that.
Driver?
There's like a more specific name, but yeah, he's the driver.
I heard that dudes like to be asked about the state of the sky. What's up, dude?
Yeah, you're a little too far.
Twitch. Dude, where's my card?
You were a little too far for that.
I love it.
This is why he was chosen. So the guard gets close enough that you can recognize him. It's Tim. It's Timothy Guardsman.
It's not just a guardsman.
Yes.
Timothy Guardsman! Hi!
Hey.
He's not going to recognize us. Wait a second.
Oh, oh.
He's seen you. He's seen you in the disguises. He's gonna recognize you because he's seen you in EMAG earlier today.
Dude is the most incognito. Does you like roll into the path or something and like become a boulder?
He can actually lie down and disappear in the grass if he wants to.
He hides in his own bush.
Oh, all right. This is a PG-13. No, it isn't. So you you meet Timothy when he rides up to you, and he first of all he like lowers his voice. He makes sure to have his back turned towards the riders behind him so that they don't like hear him ask you if you're okay and if you need help with anything.
How many people are there?
There's like another 5 of them, each one on horseback, and there's the wagon behind.
5 dudes?
No, well, various races, humanoid races. Not all of them.
But
are
all
humanoid.
dudes.
I
Dude
mean,
is a race.
yeah. Now that we know what a dude is, no, they're none of them are dudes.
Are any of them men?
Alright. The encyclopedia of the world of Yalpelor is opening.
No, but genuinely, I'm trying to clarify. Is it Timothy and 5 guardsmen, and then a
Yes.
wagon with dude behind, or is it
Yes.
Timothy
Wait,
is the only
Timothy's middle
guardsman?
name is N5?
Oh God.
Yes,
How do you
Timothy
spell
and 5 guardsmen.
Oh, it's N5. That's how N5. You know, that's how 5 guys came. Just 5 guys and a dude looking for some fries.
5 guys and a dude walking
Love
to a bar.
So we have Timothy Guardsman. We have the dude driving the cart.
The wagon, the covered wagon, yes.
Anything else? Who
And-
else is
and
back
we have
there?
5
Five
non-disturbed-
other guards. 5 other
Oh,
guards
five
with.
other
Oh, so it is
guards.
five
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Finally
wait, is it
got that.
Seth Curity? Is Seth Curity there?
Sure, Seth Curity is one of them as well.
Is Will Garner there? Will
Yes.
Garner?
Yes, Will Garner is also there.
Do we have a 4th guardsman?
What about Bo Unser?
Who?
Bo Unser.
Bo Unser, yeah.
Bo Unser.
Bo Unser, he's there.
And then there's, of course, Flintlock.
What? Who?
He likes to carry a pistol.
And Greg.
Uh-oh. Just Greg?
Damn it, Greg. Everyone needs cannon
I was
fodder.
sure there was a second punchline though.
What was it?
He said just Greg, and I was expecting there to be a second pun to the
Is
Greg.
Greg a joke to you?
Greg, I mean, isn't every Greg a joke?
I mean, the problem with having Flintlock and Will Garner there together is that people always say fire at will, and then
That's dangerous.
they misunderstand.
But
Many
that's why they always
accidents.
have to leave Will fire at home.
Many
Because he's just
accidents.
such a target.
Many accidents already happen. What do you answer when he asks you if you're okay and you need help?
Oh, we're okay.
I'm good, thank you.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
Um,
He's
Yeah.
dirt.
We're just,
Oh, Dirt, it's you. I would never have recognized you in a million years. That's an amazing.
What's this? What's this? And he
No.
does this, and
Yeah.
he's just kind of slowly forest fire burns all the things.
No!
Have you ever done when you burn off your sock fuzz and it kind of goes around your foot? Yeah, that.
is that a thing people do?
I'm not gonna ask what you mean because we need to get going, and that happens
I feel like
exactly.
the equivalent is have you ever burned off your hair instead of shaving?
Jesus. He says, all right, so you caused a bit of a stir. Apparently, there was signs going off, magical energies. I don't really understand that, but lots of wizards and magicians in the city, they all felt what happened. And, Chesterling, and he gestures toward the wagon, Chesterling wanted to check it out for himself.
Oh,
Chesterling's here.
Yeah. So,
should we go say hi?
yeah, he's probably going to ask you a few questions. I don't know if you wanted me to say something. Tell me now.
Wait, do we need the costumes back?
I guess not. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel more comfortable in costume.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, we've got the poet with us. Seems like a reasonable time to talk to Chesterling.
Oh, wait, but we have told Chesterling that we've already rescued the poet.
Right, well,
We rescued the poet a second time.
yeah, he got recaptured.
Okay.
A reprise.
That is kind of literally true, in that
Literally.
he was recaptured. He was
And
captured.
He did say they were us. Although that's odd. I don't believe that though. Never know.
He was in a prison before they got him.
Right, so he was in a prison,
yeah.
and then he was rescued by us, and then he was recaptured and then saved by us.
Mhm.
So,
I asked her about us.
Perhaps you should ask the poet not to tell Chesterling what really happened before we tell Chesterling what happened. Well, what didn't.
very smart.
Or maybe we just focus on the whole, we saved everybody and everything.
Well, apparently, I didn't realize it was quite that serious, but
That's what the poet said.
the magic power that people felt
Yes,
all the
I
way back
really
in
feel
Emo.
that Chesterling should have, clarified how important this mission was.
Right. Anyway, Mr. Poet, sir.
Yes?
So, Chesterling's here. I don't know if you knew that or if you were listening in. Either way, he seems to be of the belief that we were the ones who got you out of prison.
Uh-huh.
Crazy, right? Different mix-ups, people who look like us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we would appreciate it if you were not to dissuade him of that notion.
It just makes things more complicated.
So what is the story exactly? Just explain it to me step by step.
Oh, it's really not that complicated. You were rescued,
1,
then recaptured.
2,
By
Then
who?
we rescued you.
By the
Three.
demons? By the demons who captured me originally?
No, not the demons.
Oh,
4.
Some ruffians.
all right. So
Five.
just
What are you counting?
bandits.
Point by
Oh,
point.
oh,
All right. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can definitely sell that
Follow
story.
this simple 6-point plan.
And at that point, the rest of the guards join and join Timothy in a group. They all stand like in one group and they wait for the wagon to arrive.
Oh, you must be Bo Unser. I've heard of you.
What? What have you heard about me?
I've heard that you're a lot of fun.
Am I? Well,
Oh.
we are part of this barbershop quartet, quintet, sextet, really. Would you like to hear us?
We won't
I-
allow for any of that sex nonsense.
That's
We
true,
learned
there's
after
just
the-
6 of us.
Yeah, we learned after the last.
I would love to hear you.
Right, I'd like to know who that was, the one with the high-pitched voice. Which one are you?
Who's a high-pitched voice?
You.
That's great.
Me?
That's Greg. Hi, Greg.
How dare you? I'll have you know, I've got a very low voice for someone of my caliber.
Which part of the barbershop quartet do you sing?
Baritone.
No, do you?
Oi, are you ready?
I'm ready, yeah. Both me and
3,
Mr. are very
2,
excited.
1. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Welcome to Questers of Yalpelor. There it is. Brought it back.
How
I could have kept going.
quaint.
Ah,
Gotta admit, Gary's got a nicest voice.
Gary or Greg?
Into.
which is you. You're Greg.
No, I'm security.
Oh, that was Seth Curity.
That was Seth Security. All right.
Security is one step
You
higher.
finally. She's been waiting a month and a half to play Seth Security in a scene. I'm glad you got the chance to do it.
No one even heard it.
Hello, Chesterling. Fancy meeting you here.
The door opens. In the brightly lit day that you're in, with the sun, to remind you, by the way, which is circular and yellow and has rays of light coming in down to the ground from the sun, which
Right.
looks like a
Nice.
regular, normal sun, everyday sun.
Good clarification.
Yeah, so the inside of the wagon is quite dark. You can't make out any details, so when Chesterling emerges, he squints and has a little trouble seeing for a few seconds until he gets used to the light and sees the four of you standing there in a line, the poet right next to you. And he looks at the poet and he says, "Kane! Oh, that's finally! It's been so many years! Come here, join me!" And Kane, the poet, goes over to Chesterling and shakes his hand.
I thought they were gonna kiss.
Chesterling, actually, kind of, Kane isn't expecting it, but Chesterling wants to hug him, embrace him, say hi, and is very relieved to see him safe. And then he looks at you, his eyes full of gratitude, and he says, "Oh, my questas! This...
Oh, we're not your questers.
Oh, this is just a term of endearment. I know that you don't belong to me, but you...
Oh, good.
You are my questers. You are, right now, my favorite questers in all of the world. All of Yalpelor at least, and probably the entire world. Do you know what kind of a ruckus you created?
We're good at ruckus. One
Uh,
of our good skills.
well, a hubbub, a commotion.
We're
I'm
excellent
sure
at
it
these
wasn't
things.
us.
Oh, well.
We're
Yes.
actually very quiet.
I can understand, but every two-bit magician and beginning apprentice in EMAG, heard and felt of what just happened today. And it is very, very impressive, quite an impressive feat, and very important for me to be the first one to talk to you after that happened. Because when you return to EMAG, the message you send is very, very important. This is quite clear now that people are going to start recognizing you in the streets. The flyers, the descriptions, the news of you is all out by now. And it's important that we know the proper way to frame your return to EMAG. You understand me?
Are you saying that we've been framed?
Oh, you have, actually, in a way. Now we need to clear your names.
Right, well, that's good. I'd like to clear our names.
All
I'm
right.
in favor of that.
But we only have one thing we want to do in EMAC. We want to get Marigold, and then we're leaving.
Marigold? Who's Marigold?
The horse.
Of course.
I like to think at that moment, like the wall crumbles down and Marigold comes like
He,
like the bricks,
he,
like a cloud of dust.
he looks confused at Timothy, and Timothy like whispers quite loudly. Everyone can hear, but he like whispers to him, "They have a horse. They really like her. She's a very good horse." And then he says, "She's in the palace stables. You said they could." And he shrugs and says, "Oh, of course, yes. Go come get your horse. You can have 20 horses if you want."
So can I just sort of clarify, this ruckus that we caused is a good thing?
Well, right now, many people would not want to know what the origin of it was. So the most important thing is for you to tell me exactly what happened right now, and then we will construct the story. Tell me what happened over
If
there.
we do that, will it be a good thing?
You mean like not tell the truth?
Well, you haven't done something untoward, I trust.
I don't think so.
All right, so tell me the truth, and we will tell the truth.
Great. Just to clarify again, sorry, it's just that if it comes across that we did a great thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're going for here, that we did something good, is what you're trying to say.
I think that would be the better course of action. Yes, to
Excellent.
To-
Is there a reward, is what I leaded towards, for doing this good thing that we did?
come now. Let's focus on the more important thing. Tell me what actually happened.
Right, alright, fine. We found out that poet that we rescued, Mr. Kane, was captured again.
Well
So
done.
we went to get him,
Two,
and we found these people pretending to be us.
three,
We stopped him, killed him even,
four.
4 to 5.
and freed the poet.
Again.
Again, thank you.
Well,
Dirt, what are you counting?
The things that we have achieved.
Oh yes. So maybe we should get 6 times the reward.
well, that's all well and good. My old friend Zorander Kane is very important to me. I would like to have him safe better than to have him captured away somewhere in some rotten prison cell. But tell me, how come this fight against these kidnappers released so much chaos? You are absolutely reeking with chaos right now as we speak.
Oh, I thought that was Bo Unser.
He doesn't know which one that is, so he's just looking around the group of guys.
We don't know. It just happened.
Huh.
While we were in that space, lots of chaos was kind of everywhere, and it kept growing and growing, and we were doing everything we could to stop it from being too chaotic.
Well, if it didn't come from anywhere, at least if it seemed to you this way,
Well,
it must mean that it came from you.
Well, it disappeared when we killed off the people who looked like us. Or at least it stopped growing.
The people who looked like you.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, so these people who looked like you, what were they about? Where were they from?
They're dead now, so they're not going to cause any more trouble.
Also,
good
when
news.
When
Can
they
I go-
died, they just sort of disappeared into dust.
Ah.
They were from the future.
They were us from the future.
Well, they
No, but
claim
they weren't us.
us from the future.
Were they or were they?
I
It's
don't think.
unclear.
I was me.
All right.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, if it was really me, I think I'd probably feel bad about killing myself. So I'm kind of on the belief that it wasn't me.
Do you have any remains of those 4 versions of you?
Did something
No,
happen
as
to
we said, they disappeared into dust
And that dust, what is it now?
on the ground.
by the farmhouse?
Oh, just lying on the ground? You just left it there? Huh. I wish you had some of it with you.
Didn't I take something from dirt? I think I remember trying to.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, you tried to
Halo.
grab it. You tried to grab the dust. The question is, did you take the handful that was left in your palm?
No, I made him a halo. That's what I did. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made it like a gravestone with it.
Yeah. I was gonna take it, but he didn't have it.
All right. So none of you have any of the remains to support that that theory, or to support or disprove that theory that they were actually you.
The poet was, well, we don't know. The poet was there.
Mm-hmm.
I presume he saw it happen. I don't know if he saw it.
So he's kind of looking at you, and then from you to Chesterling, his eyes dart back and forth from specifically you, Grubble, and then he kind of like shrugs and looks at you questioningly, wondering what he can say. All right. Yeah, it's all true what they say. They look like them, although the one of them had a beard, and he didn't have anything growing on him, and that one looked like in the shape of a person, but they kind of looked like very similar to them, and they spoke like them, and they weren't like them at all. They weren't nice, they weren't playful, they didn't like to make puns at all. They were just mean.
Right, so clearly not us.
Well, they sounded like
I still don't understand it. They didn't sound anything like.
All right. So they looked kind of like you, but acted differently, sounded like you. Their voice was somewhat similar, but also different. All right. I would like to go to the place where that showdown happened. It was a mighty thing. You can either join me or proceed in your way, go back to EMAG. It's your choice. But we still have the question of what we say happened, to make sure that you are heralded as heroes in the city. Everyone's going to recognize you anyway. We should make the best out of this.
Does that make us the heroes of Yalpelor?
I
Well,
think it does. I think that's an excellent title.
they make you heroes of Yalpelor, maybe not the heroes. There are other heroes as well.
What if, so the story is there were these chaos creatures that looked like us and we defeated them?
Mm-hmm.
And we prevented there being too much chaos in the world.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Do we need more?
Well, not much more. Zorander here is a bit of a figure himself. When we say that you rescued his life, people would that plus that glorious fight where you dispatched those 4 enemies. I think that will be enough.
It was glorious. I was incredible.
Good.
There might be a poem about us later.
Good job. And Zorander nods. Yeah, well, I'm going to write a poem about him, and he points at Dirt, and maybe about all the rest of them as well.
Oh, that's so nice.
Too.
Um,
Well, I don't, guys. I know we want to go in and get Marigold, but I want to know if the dust has got magical powers. So I might go show Chesterling the way to the dust. But if you guys want to go get Marigold, you don't have to come with. It's not far. I can come find you in the city.
do me a little favor. Whatever you do, in whatever order you do it, go into the city together.
Right. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Good.
Yes, we want to build a brand, and the brand is all of us together.
Right.
young Grumble, shall we go gather some of that dust?
But are you guys happy to wait?
Of course, we're not
Come
in a hurry.
with me. All right. Okay. Let's go get some dust.
All right. So riding there in the wagon is a little shorter, not quite an hour walk, like the way to the point where you're now. So you can be there quite quickly, and he looks around him and he says that this is a locus of great chaos activity, and then he wants you to point him to where their remains are.
They're kind of just all on the floor in different piles in front of the farmhouse.
Okay, so he looks around. He casts some divination spells. As you know, he
You should be
uses.
able to see you should be able to see Dirt's gravestone.
That's exactly what he finds. It takes him a few minutes, though. He casts some divination spells to direct him to the right point, because the gravestone is just like a halo sitting on a pile of dust, so he doesn't recognize it for what it is right away. He does get to it eventually.
Stupid bleeding divinations.
And the very powerful, very useful divination spells that he knows how to cast lead him right there, and he gathers some of that in a little spoon, and he, yeah, a little scientific, like perfectly, like half spheric, little measuring tool, and then he motions you to come closer.
Right. Why
So-
are we gathering up the dust of dead people?
Well, this dust, can you feel it? Can you feel what it is?
I mean, I know there's a lot of chaos in the air, but
Um,
beyond that, I'm really not getting it.
Roll intelligence.
Can I help?
I failed.
Not in a different scene. Not while so far away. Although I know, in theory, I could let you help each other while you're not around by describing a flashback, an appropriate, like, previous conversation you've had.
Well, I think the only reason I was asking about it is because I remember specifically telling Rebel or Dirt, one of the two of them, specifically as Triss, what it felt like meeting the other Triss and how it was like.
You did. This is true.
Yeah, it was like looking into a funhouse mirror a little bit. Like it wasn't me. I couldn't be that creature as the Triss I am now, but it was as though it had been changed quite significantly from what it should have been in a quite chaotic. I don't know if that helps, but we had that conversation.
Oh, okay. Specifically, what would help in this was the fact that you confirmed that it really was, in a way, at least in some way, you.
Well, Dirt said that.
Dirt said that, and what Triss
Dirt
said
was
was
very
it could be
confident.
me, but it wasn't me.
Oh, right. That's true. So Dirt said that. Well,
Dirt did say that frequently.
that's funny, because you said you wanted to help, but that was the crucial bit of information that maybe would have given Grubble advantage on that.
I
roll.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Chesterling is the answer. I have 5 or 6 different theories, and none of them strong enough to know.
This is what remains after creatures of chaos manifest in our world. Pure chaos. Creatures that are unstable and cannot survive for too long. When they are destroyed or die, or even if just too much time passes, they disintegrate into this dust. This dust can be
I've never
used.
encountered that before. I've
Huh?
heard of it. I've read books about chaos creatures, but I never didn't even know that it was a real thing.
So, the chaos dimension is a very real thing. It is unreal for most people in the sense that they never meet it, never come in touch with it in contact in any way or form. But it is real in the sense that it sends tendrils to our world. Long tendrils constantly, always looking for cracks, for places to come in and create disorder, mayhem, what we
I
call...
mean, that's fairly normal with drills.
Well,
And we only killed off 4 of them, so there's 6 drills left.
but if 4 of them were here and created such a burst of chaos energy as I felt in EMAG, that was a very large crack that let them through. A actual chasm, if you will, in the fabric of order, keeping everything together. Yeah, Dirt. While this is happening.
First of all, order chasm. Secondly, while they've been talking, they haven't paid attention that there's actually like a system of ants and beetles and bugs who are all taking the dust of future dirt and like leading it away.
Oh, I love that.
All right. So yeah, that's happening completely unnoticed by any of them, you, Grubble, and Chesterland.
Is this dust like a powerful reagent then for casting chaos magic?
It is a reagent, and unlike any other reagent, it is universal. You can do anything with it, and very, very powerful. But it is chaotic. Using it is dangerous. Which means that I am going to take some of it, lock it away, and research it to find out what it really is, or rather, what it was before it disintegrated.
I mean, I'd love to see that research when it's done.
It'll take a few days. Once it's done, you're always welcome in the palace. In fact, do you want to maybe join the research? Do it with me?
Oh, I imagine my friends will get bored. I'm more likely to go off on a whirlwind adventure of derry-do and potentially even romance.
Yes.
It seems.
You are quite free-spirited, all 4 of you, aren't you? In fact, I remember, you named yourself more than once Agents of Chaos.
Oh, that was a misunderstanding.
You're not there, Eccles. They're all the way
Not
away.
here.
Yeah, we did actually. I'm not sure. You're looking for a rebranding. If you think we should have a different name.
I absolutely do.
Right. What would you say? Like, I mean, Agents of Order might be a bit of a stretch.
Why would it? How about you make that proposition? See how your friends react to it.
I will. That's not a bad idea.
And
Is it alright? I'm just going to take a little bit as well. And
I want to make what I was aiming at a little bit clearer, young Grumble. I am looking for what let these creatures through.
Right, to find where the big old crack was.
It is something that is aligned with chaos. That is what I would find. Something that is strongly aligned with chaos in our world, in the vicinity of EMAG.
Right.
So, how about you think about a little bit more about whether or not you really want to be named agents or servants of chaos.
Right. I mean, when we got so close to like chaos spilling in, it wasn't a pleasant thing. So maybe that's not a very good name to be going by these days. But that's just my view. We'll see what the others say. They're quite.
Have that talk, and when people wave to you in the street, wave back and smile.
Right.
All right.
So I'll see if I can get discounts.
Let's ride back.
So I'm gonna get like a bit of Grebel double dust, if that's all right.
Do you do it like stealthily so he doesn't notice, or do you let him see?
Well, how intently focused is he on gathering dirt dust?
I mean, he gathers it, which means he needs to like crouch and like get on his knees and gather some. So
I think it would be fairly easy to like cast a bubble, like filled with some of the dust, just bring the bubble back towards myself.
Yes.
While I'm like pointing somewhere else, the bubble just
that
comes
is
up behind
true.
me.
Let's roll anyway to cast the spell. Just pay 1 hit point and roll your intelligence to see how it goes. Yeah, great. You rolled a 4. That means that you comfortably summon a bubble, small and like close to the ground, while it floats to you, hidden from his view, and he completely doesn't notice it at all. In what kind of container do you put it? Do you have a?
This is a good question.
and putting it in your overflowing box.
The thing with the box is if I just put it in without putting in something.
It's gonna be over everything.
Cover everything. I have a thing called calligrapher's tools. Oh no, I have a lantern. If I just tip all the oil left out of the lantern, I can. Oh no, I have a bag of stones. I'll tip out.
I was gonna say, I feel like putting grave dust into an oil,
Into the oil
container is probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll tip out all the stones from my bag of stones because I use a hand crossbow now rather than the sling.
Sure. So now you have
A bag of Grebel double dust.
Yeah. Grubble double, which almost sounds like grumble bumble. All right. So you have it. The ride back is again another half hour, very quiet. He's completely silent. If you don't speak up, he's not going to start a conversation. He seems to be deep in thought.
I'm also thinking about the Orders Servants of Order title.
All right, and then you're back together, and
by the time they left, there's no more dirt dust.
It's all been carried away to some ant hill underground somewhere.
In another year of episodes, we're going to come back and there's going to be chaotic ants.
Well, spoiler
Tris
alert.
has been spending the entire time talking to the poet Kane.
Haha. So Zorander Kane is his full name. He's he used to be a little bit more famous when he was younger. He's still known. His name is definitely known. People read some of his poetry in EMAG, and he just like pretty much. So first of all, he's been everywhere, and he can tell you stories about all of Yalpelor, distant corners of the world. He's even been to England once, over the sea and back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think honestly though, Tris would probably be talking to him about poetry.
So he's happy to talk about poetry all the time. And you see the wagon come back. It opens and Grubble steps out. Chesterling waves you goodbye and then sets off. Unless you need something from Timothy or one of the other guards, they will also go with him, and they'll take Zorander Kane with them as well. Again, unless you want something.
The dude was just the guy in the front of the coach, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. So he's gone too.
Yeah, he was with you when you went to the house, and now, yeah. And they're all gone.
Missed the chance to talk to the dude, didn't I?
That's right.
Oh well, next time. At least I can tell people I finally seen a dude.
You should have been here. They were doing a whole concert for us. It was pretty good.
Oh, the other guardsman.
And then Kane was writing them a new song, and then they were trying out. It was very good.
One day we'll have this flashback.
So basically, what I gathered was there was so much chaos.
Do you know what the names of the band was?
I'd love to know.
It was the Chordsmen.
The Chordsman.
Oh, I got the Guardsman.
No, the Chordsmen.
The traveling chordsmen?
Well, they don't really travel.
They just did.
Oh, that's true. So what I gathered is they were chaos monsters. They came in from the chaos dimension, and that the dust is very powerful and possibly quite dangerous. But it's all sort of drifting away now. Chesterling's got some. I've got a little bit.
Just a little correction, Matt, if it's okay. I'm guessing you're not trying to purposely mislead your friend.
I'm not.
Yeah. So he didn't say they came from the chaos dimension. He said that what happened was chaos, and chaos comes from the chaos dimension. He's still suspecting. For him, he's not sure if they really were you from the future. He thinks it might have been.
And there's a big old crack somewhere. Big crack that's letting chaos in. There's 6 drills out there somewhere. There were 10 drills, now there's 6. That's all I understood. And what else? That he said because there was so much chaos, and like that we were close to some bad chaos things happening, maybe calling ourselves servants of chaos not a good thing right now. If we wanted people to like us.
Why do we need people to like us?
But don't you like people liking you, Tris?
I like you liking me.
Oh,
And I
I do
like
like
meeting
you.
new people and meeting friends. But I keep learning that not a lot of people like me. But that's okay, because I can like people without them liking me.
Well, that's
I like Trace.
I also like
I like you
Tris.
too, Dirt.
Grable,
Yes.
what about the dust from future me?
Well, it was being turned into ants. Well, ants were taking it and bringing it underground.
What kind of ants?
I don't know. I don't know the different types of ants.
But they were like pansy ants.
They didn't look particularly big or dangerous. They just looked like normal-sized, small ants in this bag.
Did you see where they were taking the dusts?
Yeah, underground.
But in what kind of a fashion? Through a crack, through a hill, through a hole, into the trees, what?
Well, definitely not into the trees. They were sort of like like a little tiny dusty hole, and they would go down into that.
Okay.
Is this bad?
Dirt, what do you know?
They're coming for me. Kind of. They came for me, for the future me, because that's what they do to us.
The
What
ants?
are you talking about?
Ants march where?
Maybe it's better if I tell you this when we are alone than maybe in front of the other people.
Didn't
Not
they
a
all
lot of
go?
people left.
Wait a minute, he turns to Chesterling. Are you people?
They all left a while ago.
Okay, so there's nobody else here. Okay,
He
sorry.
turns around as though about to speak to Chesterling, and then realizes Chesterling's gone.
So here's the thing, right? Do you remember when I told you that I am like like a god in training?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there can be no remnants of the gods on the earth. So one of the other gods that is in charge of the insects probably sent the ants there to take away my body, but that means for sure that it was actually me from the future.
Oh no.
And the
Is he-
reason I think that
Does the insect god need all of you?
I don't know. I don't have.
Chesterling has bits of future you. He
Well,
took
that
some
might
of the
become a
dust.
problem later.
Right, but ants can get into a castle. That's not too much trouble.
What?
Ants can get into a castle.
Okay, I misheard. So anyway,
He's a god. He'll be fine. He'll figure it out.
but the point is not that. The point is that that must have really been the future me. And I wonder what kind of future me that was, because that is not a future kind of person that I want to be. That is a different kind of thing.
No, I didn't like the magic that Handsome Gretel did.
I'm not gonna ever be like that. I'm not that hungry. I don't eat.
That's true.
But that was some version of the future me, and
But
I
why
don't
do we
think-
have to be those future selves? That doesn't make any sense. I don't think you're gonna be without Guy and Gus.
I mean, there is a theory I read in a book about a multiverse where it's like different version of us but very similar but at the same time.
How can
Maybe
that
You
be?
know,
maybe it's not the future, maybe it's just another world of us.
we have the same story, but we call it the multiverse.
Oh. That's actually better though, isn't it? Makes more sense.
It is.
But listen, the thing is that was me, some version of me from the future, and I don't want to take that path. But I think that the only way that could have become me is if I didn't go for my training, my God calling.
If you didn't. Right, so if you became a proper god, that couldn't happen.
You mean if you leave us?
I don't really know. I don't know, but I have to go. I'm supposed to be going pretty soon to my final trials, and I need to prepare if that is something that I'm choosing to do.
We could assist you with preparing.
We can help.
In like a montage or something.
At the very least, you could come in and, like, if you... I mean, let's not leave without saying goodbye to Marigold.
But you're not leaving.
No, are you leaving?
You're not leaving.
I think I have to.
But you have to say goodbye to Marigold then.
That's what you're worried about.
Well,
Jesus Christ, Rebel, we're fucking friends here.
Who's Jesus Christ?
What? It's... no, it's... What?
point. I don't deal well with goodbyes. So I just sort of find a structure and a protocol, and I just do like things according to the structure, and then I don't feel things too much.
Well, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I think it is.
Tris walks over to Dirt and waits until, or if, Dirt will pick them up.
Dirt picks them up.
And Tris leans over and whispers very, very quietly, "You are gonna be very, very good. Then you're gonna come find us, right?"
This isn't like forever goodbye, it's just... Look, I have to go and do a bunch of different types of things to sort of figure out what kind of a god I'm going to be, if I even want to be a god, but I don't know if I do, but I know I don't want to be that thing thing was, because that wasn't fun. They didn't like puns.
No, but that's what I mean, Dirt. That wasn't me. And I think if you keep Guy and Gus and us, you'll be okay. So we're here whenever you want us.
Tris, I want to ask you something. Can you try to make sure that nobody uses that dirt dust in like an evil way?
I don't think anyone should use the dust at all.
No, but you don't have it. It's been taken to the castle. Some guy put it inside of his castle.
Who says Chesterland has to keep it?
I mean,
But that's my point. Maybe you should try to get it back.
I've got Gretel dust. What if we snuck?
But you're not a god.
But what I know. So if we switch Gretel dust for dirt dust.
What if we just don't give them any kind of chaos dust? What if we just take it and we put normal dirt?
I think you figure it out.
But normal dirt is going to be a god.
That's right.
Maybe,
Right
look,
now.
let's not start pointing fingers.
Maybe we try with some abnormal dirt. But what I mean is, it doesn't matter if he figures it out, as long as he doesn't know it was us. We have to go back and get Marigold anyway, and I can get anywhere.
I think this is an
And no one
excellent
will
plan.
find me.
We can have a sneaky dust switching operation.
Are we doing a heist?
Right.
And
Dust
then
heist.
Dirt,
But
do you
maybe-
want me to, I have a question though.
Dust dice.
What?
When we get the dust, should I put it somewhere safe that no one can ever get it?
Yes.
Tris, please do not put the chaos dust inside of you.
But
No,
it'll
that's
be
what I wanted to
fine,
do.
it'll be fine. And Dirt said I should.
It's true. I want Tris to have a little bit of dirt inside of them.
I feel like we've all got a little bit of dirt inside.
If I did, then Aklis, I don't want you to cry, okay?
I won't.
Promise me that you will not cry.
Yes,
Are you sure?
I promise.
Okay.
It doesn't know how to cry, but their eyes have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're looking sadder and smaller.
So the thing is that I'm not really leaving you. Okay, no, I'm leaving you, but I'm going to go and have more adventures, and I'm going to go and meet new things and new people, and I think there's maybe some kind of a chance that, you know, we can meet up again in the future. You know, it depends on my Monday schedules, but probably, maybe sometimes.
Oh,
Every now and
Dirt.
then.
Dirt.
What?
Would we be able to contact you by praying to you?
Would you be like hold a flower or a leaf or a mushroom and just like talk to it until you answer?
Actually, there is one way that you can communicate with me, but I don't think you're going to like it.
Why not?
Because you have to climb on top of the volcano and do a human sacrifice.
Oh, well,
Could we do an inhuman sacrifice?
No, I'm just joking. All you really need to do is just, you need to find a quiet, peaceful rock place to sit. And you need to think about being with me.
I'm not coping very well with this goodbye.
Don't worry, I'm not really leaving. Okay, no, I did that part already. Yes, okay, I'm leaving, but like, you know, I'm also going to leave a part of me here with all of you, and I don't just mean the dead dust from the dead dirt from the other thing. I actually mean some things with you. Here, Gretel, I want you to have this. And Dirk reaches in and grabs all of his Electrum and hands it to Gretel. It's D10 of Electrum.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
It's very nice.
And Aklis, I want you to have this. And Dirk reaches in and grabs his pitchfork and his bolas. He gives it to Aklis.
you.
And Tris, I want you to have something even more special than all of these things. And he looks to his shoulder, and he takes Lohi, and he says in Dragonling something that no one else understands, and Lohi kind of like nuzzles up, and then flies over, and kind of just like hovers with Tris.
Tris gets even a little bit bigger and kind of like puts sort of a smokiness over Loki, just a little bit for comfort. And then reaches over and puts what could be a nose, but they don't have a nose near Dirt's nose. So you just see the little black kind of like.
So
I will take very good care of him. For now, until you come back.
okay, I have one more thing. Will you give this to Marigold? And Dirk takes out his
Be strategic,
leather sack
Moss. Don't take.
no. His leather sack of steel wool.
What?
Because and finally, just this. I know that you don't like her, but this is for Wilk. And he pulls out the box of exploding cookies.
I think we can give that to Wilk, yeah. Since we're in town
Make
anyway.
sure it gets to her. Maybe we can, find a messenger. We don't have to go personally.
I might do.
All right.
We're really looking forward to when you join us again. Even if it's just sometimes when we're in a rocky place and we're thinking about you.
Me too. Maybe you can also join me on my new adventures in like a crossover, episode or something.
Oh, I think that'll definitely happen. More musical episodes.
Probably true. There's a lot of dirt roads to travel.
There's a lot more dirt to go around.
I don't know, Atlas, if you ever find you don't really follow what's going on between these two.
Yes,
Yeah.
that does happen.
Aklis, I said no crying.
Your mustache is running.
The mustache is on the outside of the helmet, though.
Exactly, that's fire. You see like little bits of it are
On
just
the inside.
It's becoming more of like one of those like stashes.
All right. So when you eventually go back to EMAG, Dirt, are you still with them, or do you say your last goodbye now and go?
I think I walk like into like the nearest kind of like fort or the nearest kind of like town or something with them, laughing, and we're all enjoying ourselves on the way. But then Dirt looks up, almost like you heard like a call, like or whatever. He kind of looks
What's up? What's up?
It's time. I must go.
Now,
Yes.
I'll get the dirt dust for you, I promise.
Okay.
You do it. You said the next town. The next town is Emag. So just to have the description right in all of our minds, you do that right after you enter the city. Or
yeah,
before.
I guess I just walk him to the edge of the city, like until we can see it.
I see. All right. So outside of the border of the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then yeah, he stops and kind of looks at everyone and says, "Thank you, my friends and my colleagues."
Thank you.
And comes up and he. What?
Can I have a hug?
I was
Can I
going.
have a hug?
I was going to give you a hug, but now
I'd
I
like a
kind of
hug.
feel that you asked for it. That kind of don't want to do it anymore.
I'd like to have a hug. And
Okay.
you'd like to give me one, so why not do the thing that makes us both happy?
So I pull everyone in and I give them a hug, and I heat up just a little bit to make it warm, and then I let them go, and I say, "Thank you, friends. Hey, watch this!" And he just goes into like molten lava, and just like zips away down the path, leaving like char behind him.
Very dramatic.
I didn't know you could do that. Wow. I mean, that's one way to make the goodbye not last too long, because otherwise it would have been like waving while he's walking very slowly away from us.
Yes, that's
Bit of the
always
sun,
embarrassing when it
you know,
happens.
setting and...
It's actually quite considerate. Agnes, he said don't cry.
I'm not crying.
Okay. Here. And Gretel just hands Agnes a handkerchief.
Thank you.
And then we walk into Emag, I guess.
Yeah, you leave the start of the sizzling, smoking path that Dirt left behind him on the grass on the path as he was zipping away, and you walk towards the walls of the city. It's a walled city, and there's like a big gate. You go in. There's a group of guards waiting there for you, wide eyes. They're like in a group.
How do they recognize us, though?
Are you still?
We're not in disguise anymore.
You're disguised.
Aklis still has the mustache.
Agnes
So-
is still in disguise.
So they're recognizing you because some of you are not wearing disguises, and they ask. So the first thing that one of them opens his mouth and asks is it really you?
It's the good us, yes.
So it's true you were framed.
Yes,
That's right.
that's true.
And what happened out there?
Oh, we killed the, imposters.
It was a crazy, exciting battle. Full of danger and lava and quicksand and violence.
Your voices
Let
draw.
that be a lesson. Let that be a lesson to anyone who tries to frame us in the future.
So
That's right.
You're-
Nobody messes with Grumble Bumble.
Okay, so you say this name and you hear them hear it and immediately you know that this name is now attached to you, to your face, to the stories about you. That's the name they know you as. They ask you what happened with your fourth friend, because they watched it happen from the top of the wall. Your last conversation with Dirt, your very last goodbye just
No,
now.
you mean our god friend?
What does that mean?
He's a god.
He's a god.
And he's a friend. Atlas even said he was a friend.
Wait,
They
what?
did.
God friend.
I heard that!
What kind of god is he?
Oh, that is still to be determined. That's one of the exciting things about it.
Wow, he's
I'd keep your ears out for the adventures of Dirt. If I were you.
Dirt. All right, and more and more people come when they hear your voices and the stories, and people just come because there's a group listening to you now, so there must be something interesting going on. Soon enough, you're surrounded by a crowd of people. The guards serve as a barricade, like stopping the people from like rushing you. But obviously they're doing it because they want to be the first line to hear the story of what just happened, and they demand to hear a full account of what happened today when you walked out. It's the same guards. It's the same post, like the same shift that said goodbye to you when you walked out north this morning, right? So it's the same people. So they know that you left. They know you were out for a few hours. They want to know everything about what just happened. And the question is, how long do you let them keep you there, and how much do you tell them?
I mean,
We're not in a hurry.
Okay. So.
I mean, Triss is though. Triss has a
We
mission.
are in a hurry.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, if you guys wanted to distract everyone, that's cool. But Triss made a promise
To go where?
to go to the castle
dirt dust.
and get dirt dust.
I see. All right. So you tell
I mean,
your
that
story.
doesn't mean that we can't entertain. I'm just saying that Triss will try to find a way to go get the dust.
I mean, it's going to be very easy to sneak away right now, but it's not going to be very easy to get into the palace alone, get into Chesterling's lab, and steal the dust without your friends.
Yeah, we need to plan a heist.
And so you tell the story for a little while. At some point, you realize that Triss is a little distracted, wanting to carry on, and all three of you just, you say goodbye to a quite disappointed crowd who was very ready to stay here until sundown.
If any of you ever need questers to help you with well-paid quests, we're staying at the Middle Inn. We're staying at the Middle Inn.
How do we call you?
Oh, leave a message at the Middle Inn or with Timothy Guardsman.
No, I mean a name. What do we call you?
Oh, the hero questers of Yalpelor.
All right.
That's not
Or
very
this is chaos, whatever.
Questions of Yalpelor.
We'll tell you later. We will tell you soon. Goodbye.
You hear Questers of Yalpelor being slowly spread out through this large crowd, and being slowly passed word to like by word of mouth, passed from person to person out into the streets, the alleyways, between people, between different quarters of the city, and eventually spreads out to all of Emag and out into Yalpelor. Soon enough, more quickly than you can measure, Questers of Yalpelor are known throughout the kingdom. And that's going to be the end for today. So thank you very much. That was the comment in chat saying this was a year-long origin story is true in more than one way, I feel today.
But whose origin?
Exactly. So I think more than one person or group of people. Yeah, that was great. I want to say thank you to everyone, and especially to Trent for being able to join us again for that last hurrah, at least last for now. This is not a forever goodbye. And also, we don't really have final details about it yet. I want to still, maybe, Trent, do you want to say something about maybe what we're going to do in the channel?
I can say with zero guarantees. We're discussing about because the reason that I'm leaving is that my availability is no longer such that I can guarantee to be here all the time, and I have a fairly erratic schedule. So we're thinking of doing a sort of a spin-off with Dirt, running sort of like one shots based on the world of or based on the mechanics of Archipelago, where there would be different guests each time and a less structured like sort of like meeting schedule and production schedule and things. And that, so we're hoping that will come. And I'm playing with the idea of calling it Dirt Roads.
Haha, very nice. So, I mean, we all want that to happen, and it might happen, and when it does, it'll be right here.
I have another brief announcement, which is that the game I made last month, Beckons T. Blanc and the Meteor of Doom, we finally did a patch to fix the bit with squirrels. People were facing infinite squirrels, so now if you, I will share a link in the Figment RP page. You can play the game without facing infinite squirrels, and maybe actually get to the end if you want to.
You'll share it, you mean once Facebook is up, if it ever happens.
If Facebook ever returns,
God.
And
Not gonna lie, I'm not sad about the lack. Twitter's been great.
wait. A question I had, is infinite squirrels a bad thing?
Yeah, because they're wearing sort of, one of them is wearing a little helmet that says Tough Nut on it. And,
All right, yes, I understand. Say no more. That's completely understood. Thank you very much, everyone who joined us and watched. We will be here next week as usual, 9 p.m. in Israel, 2 Eastern Standard Time, and just do the math for all the rest of the world. You know how it works. It's the same clock. Good night, everyone.
Place different time, same clock.
Until the next time we see each other. Play hard and stay safe. That was awesome. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Goodbye from Questers of Yalpelor.